Welcome back to another interesting video of mine. My name is Dorothy Cornelius, and oh my goodness, the last video, you guys, oh my goodness, that video blew up, and I like the fact that a lot of people found it very informative. Thank you so much for all the engagement. And I did say in that video that if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section and I would answer them. And that is what I am doing with this video. I am answering all the questions you asked in the last video. Very, very interesting questions. It actually made me go back to my drawing board to research so that whatever thing I put up again is something that would be worth watching or worth consuming. If this is your first time on here on my channel, my name is Dorothy Cornelius, and if you are returning, Mafil, I have missed you so much. So if you're ready to get into it, I'm ready for you. Let's do this.
If you run with me, I gotta work for the both of us. Put you in the driver's seat. Don't gotta hurry and in love.
We're going to go right into it, but before that, I would like to say that I just had 3 questions from the comment section, and I had to do so much research because those 3 questions were heavy. There were never like a direct answer to it. There were, but I also did my best to put in options for you so you can read more about it and also explore more as well. I'm just going to start on with the first one that popped up, and that was, does it pay? I mean, now to the future. So the person was asking if recreation or the job that I'm doing as a recreation aide, does it pay now and also into the future? Does it look bright? Okay, so for the average recreation salary in Canada, we are looking at about $43,000 per year, and is $22.18, per hour. Me, particularly as a recreation aide, in long-term care establishment, I take home 21.47 an hour because I am still a student and this is actually a part-time job. So if I should go full-time, or if I should actually graduate from school and get my certificate, I start off with $24 and above. And it is like that because I don't have experience. I am actually working on it. The establishment I'm working at is more government related. So if you're in a private establishment, it can be more. At least get it into it as an entry level position. You're looking at roughly $22 or $21. Also, it depends on the province you find yourself in. I'm in Ontario. Somebody in Alberta might get more or might take less. So at least it's above the minimum wage in Canada, which is 16.55. And to me, it is really cool as a student because 16.55 and we're moving back to 24 hours per week in September, honey, there's nothing to write home about because if your rent is a bit on the high price, how are you going to pay your rent and how are you going to feed? Let's say if you have a job that is 16.55. So for me, I've been through all that, working in a warehouse, working, just as a hospitality attendant, working, in a drive-through. I've been there, done that to know that this particular job, I mean, starting off with 21.47, for me, it's a gradual and a steady, slow pace that to me it works. So I know I'll get there. So for me, it is okay. And to me, it's not really, really bad at all. It's way better than 16.55 because 16.55 is before tax. That means that after tax, it goes down to like 14 or 15, meaning that even if they take tax, I'm going down to maybe 19 or 20, and to me, I can work with that than having 16.55 and going all the way down to, let's say, $14 or $15 per hour after tax. That is bad. With 24 hours per week, that is that is deadly. We wouldn't survive at all. So for me as a student, this job as a part-time job now is one of the best I've had, and I'm actually enjoying it. It's not really, really tiring at all. It makes you think more, and it makes you more proactive because you are challenged to do things on your own. And as to what you're doing is right or wrong, it's about how confident you are in the activities you put together. So it has to do more with organizational skills and your belief when it comes to your creativity. So question A to me is more like I'm gathering experience. So after I've gathered experience and I've stayed in for a while, I know what to do when it comes to this job. I would like to now specialize and go deeper into it. I am thinking of recreation therapy or being a recreation therapist. So with that, I would have to go back to school and do a postgraduate course, and it's a 1 year course. After that, I would have to write the exams, and that is the NCTRC exams, which is the National Council for Therapeutic Recreation Certificates. As of May 2024, the average salary in Ontario, you're looking at 27.97 cents per hour. That is, if I get my license and I become a recreational therapist. So the national average salary is about $70,000. Because it's an emergent field, it will definitely keep going higher and higher. So definitely this is something you can actually look into if you are really interested. And it gets more interesting. Let's say you get a job in the United States as a recreation therapist. For them, the lowest you can go in terms of what you earn in an hour is $24. That is the lowest. Maybe you're starting off, you don't really have much experience. And the highest you can go, and that is very interesting, it's about $70 per hour. Honey, $70, but that's as high you can go. And remember, high, it depends on where you find yourself working at. This job is not just government related, it can be anything. You can actually become a recreation therapist to a billionaire or to one wealthy person, or do you get it? So it can go as high as that. So it's not like you are fixed in working in a government home, or you're fixed in working with a retirement home, or you're fixed in working in a long-term care establishment. You can be anywhere. You can work with kids, you can work with older adults, you can work with practically anybody. Can this job position get one a PR? I would say it is likely possible for you to get a PR, because hospitality jobs, this kind of hospitality jobs are linked to health related jobs. I work hand in hand with personal support workers and registered nurses. So this particular job I'm doing is directly related to health services. So it is very likely for me to get a PR. One, depending on the establishment you're working at, if they really want you and it is in demand in that province, and they can put in word for you and they can help you get a PR. You get it? And also, if you get a good lawyer, they can look into it and experience, Canadian experience, and it is up to maybe 2 years or more. You can actually work your way through, and likely you can get a PR. The reason why I say likely is that they keep changing the rules when it comes to immigration laws and everything. So yes, I don't know what they might change tomorrow, but it is likely possible. Why? Because Canada has a growing aging population. So a lot of these public health professionals, or any work or jobs that are linked to health services, are needed everywhere, because their aging population keeps growing. So it is very, very possible to get a PR with a job in this field, especially if it is health related. It's not just any job in hospitality. You have to be intentional. When it's a bit related to health, then to me, it's likely that you can get a PR, and it's all about how you go about it. First of all, you need to get that Canadian experience. Honestly, you have to have your certification as well. I've gone to school for 2 years for this particular program. By end of this year, God willing, I would get my diploma in recreation and leisure service. It counts. That can be the point. Then now that I'm getting experience, if I'm able to stay in for a year or two, if I can go back to school, go back to you, get more certifications, it's going to add up. And of course, it will be easier for me to get through it, to do what I want or specialize in the field that I want. So yeah, it is very, very likely to get a PR with a hospitality job that is directly linked to health related services. The last question someone asked was, how can a registered midwife or nurse apply for a recreation aid job? Like I said earlier on, the qualifications that you need to start a career as a recreation aid includes your knowledge in recreational activities and your organizational skills. Recreation activities, you don't know much about it, so this is the time you need to now read on it. It's not really far-fetched, but you really need to read when it comes to recreation activities, those that can be done indoors, those that can be done outdoors, those that can be done seasonals and all that. So you need to be abreast with all that. You would have to get your diploma, high school diploma or post secondary, and that is what I am doing right now. when we get that diploma, and also you need to get your first aid certification and your CPR as well. Depends on what your employer is also looking for. For me, because I had a background in psychology, it was easier for my employer to at least put me up for an interview session to meet me one-on-one. That was what made her choose me as a candidate. Other people will be looking for, anybody with a bit of physical education background, theater, anything creative. It depends on the person hiring. If you have various experiences when it comes to anything creative, put it on your file. Anything that has to do with children, put it there. Anything that has to do with interaction, customer care, taking care of people, put it on your file, because you don't know exactly what your employer will be looking for. Others might be looking for experience, but for me, I think you being a midwife, you are really deep into science, so it will be very easy for you to get a job as a recreation aid. But for me, it will not be easy for me to get a job as a midwife. Do you get it? Because that is deep into the science, so you have an advantage over me. It's like a personal support worker not wanting to be a PSW anymore, but wanting to be a recreation aid. So now she would have to do more lighter jobs than what she does, because like I said, those their jobs are very, very intense. So for her, she will now have to take back and now lean more into her creativity. Do you get it? Now looking for activities that she can put together to make these older folks engage and become interactive and be happy, unlike what she was doing, checking stars, taking temperature, taking all that. And that one, you really need to go to school to get your certificate for that. So it is very easy for a midwife to come out and be a recreation aid than a recreation aid moving to be a personal support worker or a registered nurse, because now you get it into the science field and you really need to go back to school to get a certificate on that. If you're already working in a hospital or wherever, you can start from there. Ask around. If they have a department that do recreation, you can now look into that, because for my job, there's a lot of postings that are internal. A midwife and now you wanting to do a recreation job, I would say for you to get a job like that, look internal. If you're already working in a hospital, ask around. There's going to be a department that has to do recreation. Not, you'll be pointed into a direction where it will be much easier, but you have to lean more on your creativity, know more about recreation activities, and if you can get education in CPR and first aid, it should also help. So for me, you're good to go. You just need to tap into your creativity. That's all I can say. So there you have it. The last two questions are more personal. Someone asked about my contact, like if he or she would like to reach out, where can he or she find me? Okay, I will put my email address below or in the description box, so you can send me an email. And also someone was asking if I am a Ghanaian. Yes, I am a Ghanaian, a full-blown Ghanaian, but I watch a lot of Nigerian movies. I consume a lot of Nigerian content, so I can speak a bit of Fijian. How you doing, Baba? Twale, twale. So there you go. I hope the answers to your questions were solid and I was able to clear up your doubts or some of your curiosities. And I also were able to answer them in a way that you can really comprehend. If not, still leave your questions below and I will come back to answer them. It was quite intense for me. I had so much, research to do, and I just wanted to make sure I deliver right. I deliver in a way that she would, listen to me and really understand it. So my name is Dorothy Canelius. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. And thank you so much for all the engagement, for all the shares, for all the comments. I really appreciate it so, so, so much. See you in my next video. I love you.
If you ride with me, you gotta work for the both of us.